not just the campaign that's being shot, but the content. This will become obvious when the spots start airing, but
I'm intrigued.
How do you elevate what your experience is when you go into a Hilton, and how is Paris kind of sprinkling some magic sparkles on that experience? And I think that's where you're blending what you might see as a passive consumer, but then also going to experience it in real life, which I think is that's the fun part.
You mentioned to me right before we started this interview that this was your first time here at CES.
CES.
What brings you to CES? What's your message to folks that you're meeting here at CES?
No, well, we're here on the road with Paris and the whole 1111 team, and so full schedule today. I'm taking this break to come and fly the flag over here about 1111, but really it's awareness, letting people know that we're here. You know, Paris is successful entrepreneur for the last 20 years. This year will be the 20th anniversary of The Simple Life, kind of when she first came on the scene. And really bringing together those businesses that have amassed about $4 billion in revenue under a brand of 1111 Media. So launched about 2 years ago, and we really kind of touch the entire, what I call the supercharged flywheel. So it's film, it's television, consumer products, brand partnerships, one of the big reasons that we're here, digital, metaverse, Web3, licensing. And so we're really here talking to brands. We were in a meeting this morning and a brand kind of raised their hand, a very legacy brand I won't mention, and said like, man, we have this huge female demographic that loves our automobiles. But we're seen as the old man, the old person's car. How do we make it cool? And we kind of laughed and said, call 1111. Paris said that was her line. I will not take credit, but it's kind of true, right? And so really almost working in collaboration with these brands, a la how we did Hilton. I think one of my favorite headlines, the CEO a couple weeks ago, quoted in Fortune, actually said it was Peloton, pumpkin spice waffles, and Paris Hilton that were really carrying the brand success post-pandemic for Hilton. And so I think bringing that kind of mojo and magic to other brands is the whole reason I'm here.
Peloton, pumpkin spice, Paris Hilton, the Holy Trinity.
Yes, 3 Ps.
You know, she's thinking about it. You know, she's kind of the original influencer before the term influencer was a known thing. Does her experience there in the last 20 years, as you mentioned, are there lessons for, there's people here at CES who are influencers, want to be influencers. There's a lot of brands here that want to work with influencers. Are there key lessons to take from her experience to drive forward?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I mean, look, this word gets thrown around a lot, but it's so true, and it's authenticity, the connection to the brand. That's why Hilton's a great example. iHeartRadio, another one of our big partners, a fantastic connection there on a personal level for the brand. And so I think authenticity and really innovation, that willingness to want to experiment and try new things and take risks. I think that's why, to me, the best partnerships between a personality and a brand is really about, you know, pushing the bounds, doing something, using in a safe way that conduit into something new. And I think that's what she's so good at. It's
kind of like simultaneously you should push the boundaries but not feel forced.
Correct.
And that's a challenging needle to thread.
Yes.
But obviously Paris Hilton and 1111 has figured it out. Tell me about, and you look at content consumption trends, I'm sure, and think about the way that people are consuming media and all of this. What are you thinking about right now as we head into 2023? Any trends that stand out?
You know, one of my favorites, and it's certainly not new, but I'd say on the rise in North America, certainly it's been very popular across the APAC region, which is really live shopping. I think we've seen attempts to do it, and the technology and things are getting better, but we, for instance, just did a live shopping pop-up with Amazon Live a couple weeks ago, right before the holidays, and we're on air for 27 minutes, Paris and her mom, with the new cookware line. And by the end of that episode, we were the #1 cookware across the board on Amazon, right? And I think that all of us were just like, wow, like the power of having a live shopping experience and building also something that was fun, that didn't feel like I'm pushing. It was about holiday treats and traditions, and the dog pops up and they're in pajamas, and I think I look forward to exploring live shopping more.
So it's not necessarily someone going to a store and live streaming it. It's someone, they could be in their home, they could be anywhere, but they're effectively selling a product, but maybe within the context, as you said, of a broader story.
And in the context of storytelling and content. I think that's what's the key to not feeling like a commercial, because nobody wants to do that.
Speaking of content, we have seen amazing advances, even just in the last year, that are indicating that AI, maybe it's not ready to replace human creativity yet, but maybe it's augmenting it more and more in terms of visual, in terms of writing. How do you think about that, and how do you plan for that as an organization? How are you going to integrate that into what you do?
Oh man, James, if you could see my roadmap, AI is, I wish I could talk a little bit more. We'll have to get together again. We're planning, I think we're such a unique company in that we're the 1111 brand, but also a lot of it grounded in a human, right? And when it comes to scalability and those sorts of things, I would just say we're always thinking about how we can leverage AI to expand our ability to do multiple things around the world.
And this is just occurring to me. I'm not saying that you're doing this. I'm just going to say this, and you can confirm, deny, or nothing. But I mean, Paris Hilton has we just mentioned a bunch of catchphrases, right?
Yep.
She has a definitive way, a distinguishable way of talking, right?
Yep.
So one could imagine the Paris Hilton bot or some way to kind of replicate her across other entities that use AI to leverage that.
One could imagine, James.
Okay, we're definitely going to have you back to see if this pans out. Metaverse, do you use the term? Do you like the term? Are you doing things in there?
We love it. I think, honestly, I believe it was Forbes that dubbed Paris the queen of the metaverse. We've kind of gone with that, and I ran into Kathy Hackle a couple weeks ago.
We had her on the show.
I know, she's the godmother and the queen, need to get together,
Yes.
so I'm working on that. We love it. I think it's one of the hallmark areas of innovation for 1111. And we, again, kind of what we were talking about before, we're that partner that can take you along in an authentic way. And I think we've had two or three amazing activations, and we've done things in Roblox, Sandbox. Paris launched her own URL-based world. But I love, the L'Oreal Urban Decay example is one of my favorites because, makeup in a digital world, what does that look like? And I think us partnering with them really brought it to life, brought over 1 million people into the experience to dress their avatar in really fun looks for Halloween. And it was a huge success for the Urban Decay and L'Oreal team. And I think the metaverse is here. It will continue to grow and evolve and become more interesting and dynamic and exciting. But that is one of our underpinnings into everything we do, and something we really offer and make it way less scary for legacy brands to want to get into it, because we kind of cracked the code with some learnings on how to do it.
So obviously we're going to have you back. There's never enough time. Crystal Hauserman, 1111 Media. Thanks for joining us.
Of course. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for watching us right here in the C-Space studio, where you can catch many more such conversations coming up today and tomorrow. I'm James Kotecki here at CES 2023. Keep it here. Hey, we're here in the C-Space studio here at CES 2023. I'm James Kotecki, and I'm joined by Megan Myungwon Lee, the chairwoman and CEO of Panasonic North America. It's an honor to have you in the C-Space studio.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so Panasonic, I think many people have an idea or understand what Panasonic is. It means, especially here at CES.
Yes.
In fact, I think you're on the cover. Panasonic is on the...
It's not me, but we are on the cover.
The concept, yes,
right,
exactly.
Right.
But how do you define the brand, the overall scope of what Panasonic North America means right now?
So Panasonic is a 100-year-old company from Japan. In US, we're here 60 years. We started as a consumer electronics company with the TVs and phones and so forth, and we still have the presence in CE area. But as of today, what we announced at CES today is all about sustainability. So one thing that we're really excited about near term is our EV battery production that we have been producing in Reno, Nevada for several years now, very successfully partnering with Tesla.
Yep.
We just announced 2 months ago another large factory in Kansas with $4 billion investment, which will be operating in 2025. We're also showcasing a future sustainability technology such as perovskite solar cell that can be printed.
Oh, cool.
And you can be, it can go on a wall or anywhere, very flexible. But also we are showcasing hydrogen, pure hydrogen fuel cell generator technology.
Wow.
That can, in the future, create a manufacturing operation to net zero. So we're really excited. Short term, long term, we have a great path for the sustainability that we can contribute to the environment that we're in.
And is the order that you just laid those things out to us kind of the order of how near term they actually are? So you're obviously currently producing the batteries.
Oh, yes.
Printing solar cells sounds like a little bit further down the road.
Yes, exactly. But we want to make sure that we're contributing right now, but also have a path for really net zero. We're committed to net zero CO2 emission by 2030. It's an ambitious, but we have very specific plans, and it already started.
And when you say that you're announcing these sustainability goals, do you want people to think of Panasonic now, first and foremost, as a sustainability company? Is that the identity that you want to recast?
We really do. Panasonic's goal has always been contributing to the society that we're in with a technology and an operation that we can give back to the community with a healthy business in many different ways. I am really excited because in the past we're more of a CE company, but as of today, we have so much going on that we can really identify our company as a business that's really focused in the future, the current and future of sustainability.
And this is highly resonant with the concept of CES 2023 being human security for all. And for those who don't know, human security is this kind of umbrella concept. Includes health security, environmental security, food security, all these different sorts of things. And I imagine that Panasonic's new identity ties right into that.
Yes. So I'm really excited. I'm with Panasonic for 35 years, and I don't think we were ever disaligned with our philosophical commitment, with our actually what we do as a business, and it's happening in this market.
Has it required Panasonic to change fundamental things at various levels of the business? Obviously, you can kind of, it's one thing to kind of rebrand things that you're already doing or we're going to do, but are there other fundamental changes that are happening inside the organization that are required to make this identity shift?
So I don't necessarily think it as an identity shift. We were always, when we were a CE company, we had all the R&D and technology and manufacturing within our company. The fact that we're a leading EV battery manufacturer is because we have 100 years of technology in-house that we're always working on. So it has been an evolution. We kind of grew up, but that's how we evolved as a Panasonic. So I'm not sure if I can necessarily call it as a transformation, but definitely an evolution.
Yes. Very exciting. So how does your vision look for the future of mobility and transportation? Obviously, we're talking about EVs and maybe eventually hydrogen-powered cars, I'm not sure. But kind of, what's the vision as you kind of look? Because, I mean, for a company like Panasonic, especially someone at your level, your job in many ways is to look 5, 10 years down the road and try to understand how we're going to be living our lives.
So the electrification of transportation is something that we're really passionate about. From the providing EV battery, we definitely are now, and we continue to want to be the leading EV battery provider with the technology and quality. We also have a lot of products that goes into a car, and we announced a lighter and most energy efficient stereo that goes into EV cars. That saves 67% of the energy because it's lighter and fit to the EV cars perfectly. So we have different exciting products coming into the market, and it's really exciting to be in that transportation industry.
And do you see a future of continued individual car ownership in the next 5, 10 years, or do you see any kind of significant change toward, okay, now I'm going to start using, and there is an alarm going off right down the hallway. If anybody can hear that, that is what's going on right now. Until someone tells me otherwise, we're going to just continue this conversation if that's okay with you.
Yes.
So do you see, as you look at the future of automotive, do you see people owning their cars still in 5 to 10 years, or do you see everything being, the Uberification of it or self-driving cars kind of take away the need to own a car?
I think we have the awareness that what works better for the environment, we should try and adopt to that behavior. I don't think it's going to be easy changing human behavior, but Panasonic definitely wants to contribute to the evolution of transportation that's more eco-friendly.
And of course, part of that vision, as you mentioned, also involves people being entertained and engaging with their media and their content, which is something that Panasonic is right in your wheelhouse.
Yes.
To use a car analogy, I suppose.
Yeah.
What else are you thinking about here at CES 2023? Anything else you want to share?
So we're really excited to be part of CES. We are here more than 50 years, actually, and it has been really wonderful to partner with CES and CTA and evolved into a platform that we can project what we have become in this market. I know CTA is really focused on sustainability, so we are, and we kind of want to tell that story together, and it's really exciting partnership.
A true pillar of CES. Last question. I looked up on your bio and I saw that you're on the board of the Newark Museum of Art.
Right.
Does your appreciation for art impact the way that you do business?
Absolutely. So our corporate outreach is heavily focused on STEM, but I'm an art major, and there's a quality that art plays in individual growing up. I don't think it's all about the science and math. We have to be a whole person, and we believe in growing as an individual and as an organization. And so STEAM is a wonderful way to really encourage that, and that's why I'm part of the Newark Museum.
Well, it's cool to see an art major in charge of such a technology-focused business. Megan Myung-Won Lee, thank you so much for joining us here in the C-Space studio of Panasonic North America.
Thank you very much.
And thank you so much for sticking with us. We will sort out this alarm and get back to you. I'm James Kotecki. This is the C-Space studio here at CES 2023. Keep it right here, because unless they kick us out, we're not going anywhere.
be to show up and experience the future of innovation up close, including tech that has the power to solve the world's greatest challenges. Be the one in the middle of it all.